All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. I will be with you in 1 minute. I was having a few technical difficulties, and my computer keeps... Oh, it just fucking did it again. My computer's crashed about 15 times today, and I don't know why. Just did it right now again, for fuck's sakes. Thankfully, I'm on my phone, so that won't be interrupted, but I can't really read the text on the side of the screen here, so I need it open on my computer. And that has been a fucking problem. All right. I may not be able to bring up super chats on the screen tonight, depending how often this keeps crashing, because it only seems to be a StreamYard. Well, it's not just StreamYard. There was one other thing that was doing it, but the only two times I've had the problem is on StreamYard and this other site. So if it keeps happening on there, I might eventually have to just close down StreamYard. I'll still have StreamYard on my phone, but not on my computer, which is a bit complicated. Just give me a minute here, guys. I just have to send out a I'm live notice because last 10 minutes I've been dealing with that. So yeah. All right. Oh yeah, I guess I need to do that on YouTube too. Man, I'm so discombobulated because of this stupid like computer crashing stuff. I will be with you all in 1 minute, probably. I still haven't even poured myself something to drink. That's how far behind I am. Okay. I am caught up for the moment. Get a drink, then read the super chats, then read what you guys have been saying, and then get into the episode. Oh boy. At like 7:45, I was looking at the time going, I'm going to be ahead of schedule. Joke's on me. I literally got in right at 8 o'clock. I thought I was going to start at like 7:55-ish, be a couple of minutes ahead, all this jazz, and then my computer's like, how about we don't? How about we just fuck you up and keep crashing? I don't know what's going on with it. It's been cranky for a couple of months, so I think it's time I look into a new computer. I have actually looked a couple times. I just keep not following through because I'm a procrastinator. I'm the type of person that will wait until the day it finally crashes permanently before I do something about it. I did yesterday back up a whole bunch of my older content onto my external in that on the off chance something happens. But anything from like the last 2 weeks isn't backed up yet, which, it is what it is. I can only do so much. All right. I am going to attempt again to get StreamYard to work on my computer. If it doesn't, I'm going to have to go without it. Motherfucker. All right, I guess I'm going to have to go ahead without StreamYard on my computer. That means any super chats I do, guys, I'm going to have to read just off of YouTube, and I won't be able to bring them up on screen, just so we're all on the same page there. All right. Come on, open up, chat. There we go. Okay. All right, let's get through all the hellos and everything first, and then I will get to the couple of super chats I already have sitting there written. All right, hello DC World, hello Where is the Future, hello Arrowverse, hello Brian, hello Laura E, hello Gamer, hello Mashrer, hello Terrence, hello Scott, hello Lionel, hello Brian, hello Victor, hello Skinny Boy, hello Spectre, hello Malik, hello I missed someone there. Where was it? Alexandra. I hope I got that right. Okay, I think I'm all caught up to the hellos. Okay. We have a couple of super chats right off the bat, so let's get to those. All right. Scott Edwards, $9.99. I'm going to hold out hope for Supergirl, Superman, Black Lightning, White Canary, Killer Frost, Sentinel, Stargirl, and Diggle Green Lantern to be in the 10-year Arrowverse event. Chance for each for you. Superman, Killer Frost, I would put in 90% or higher. White Canary and Sentinel, I would put in 75, and I would put in 75% or higher. Stargirl, I'd put about 50%. Diggle Green Lantern. Okay. Diggle, I think there's like an 80% chance. Him as Green Lantern, like a 10% chance. And Supergirl, like a 0.01% chance. I hope Mia Queen and Black Canary, Batwoman are in it too. Batwoman, that would be a high percent chance. Black Canary, 25% chance. Mia Queen, 50-ish. Not impossible. I mean, obviously she came back for this, so she's not completely unwilling to do more Arrowverse stuff. She just was unwilling to do more of her show under the premise that it was. All right, so we have a few other questions here, and I'll see if I can catch up to them before I get into talking about tonight's episode. It is right now on the West Coast, so I expect some people to come in after at 9 o'clock and probably ask me the same questions I'm going to talk about now. So we'll maybe dip around and see what other parts we can talk about before we get too far into that. Besides the Barry and Thawne scenes, were good. It seemed like they wasted Alex and Ryan Wilder and Ryan Choi having them giving and getting pep talks about relationships. I don't know what you expected of them that you're disappointed in them. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you were expecting of them that you thought there was going to be something super amazing that they were going to do. I was expecting maybe a little more of Batwoman in a combative role, but seeing how the episode laid out, it is what it is, you know. I don't think they were necessarily wasted, and the reason I don't think they were necessarily wasted is there was a method to their madness. We all watched the episode, and I've seen everybody almost everywhere kinda has the same nitpick. They all love the episode, but they're like, what was with all the pep talks about relationships? You know, what was talking about everyone's love life? What was the deal with that? Here's what. It all built up to Barry going back in time to fix things through him being the paragon of love and Damien Dark wanting to help him because of the love of his daughter. All of these little things you saw in the episode, them talking about Ryan's love life, them talking about Alex's love life, them talking about Ryan Choi's love life, them talking about Allegra and Chester's love life, them showing Frost and Chill Blaine hooking up. All of these things were little nuggets to get to the point of Barry being the paragon of love and him having to use that to get him back to 2021 to fix everything. Was it campy at times? Was it weird? Did some of it seem like it wasn't going to fit for whatever reason? Yeah, sure. The Allegra and Chester stuff, I will be annoyed if they never pay that off down the road. If there's a point where that scene happens and something different happens in that scene, I will look back at this and be like, okay, maybe I get it. if we see that scene play out the way she said it does and all that stuff, I don't know. I might be just kind of like, we didn't need that. Almost everything in the scene, I didn't have a big problem with where those things were. Was it weird? Did I during the episode, I definitely sat there thinking to myself, going, shit, we're talking a lot about people's relationships. And to know that those relationships aren't real, that these are all fake things because that timeline doesn't exist, also seemed weird to harp on so much. But it all built up to explaining how Barry was going to be able to do what he did. And that was through him being the paragon of love. They do these things all the time where they connect other parts of the story to connect to the primary character of the story in a way. So these all kind of connected in that way. What is that floating around in my glass? Okay, I don't know what that was. You rather see Despero interrogating a team? Well, that would have been a dumb, boring scene. That would have like been the worst scene of the episode. Like the 4.5 seconds we got of him interrogating Cecile was some of the worst stuff in the episode. So no one wanted to see him interrogating 5 other people. I mean, if you liked that, if you thought that was exciting, I guess that's for you. For me, I was just sitting there going, all right, we get it. He's powerful. Okay, move on. I didn't think we needed more than 5 seconds of seeing what he did and his interrogation tactic. It wasn't anything special. Terrence liked the Wildmore stuff. Well, I'm not a Wildmore fan, Terrence, so I did not, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. Hello. Yep. Thawne had the smartest evil plan ever. It was pretty good. It was definitely pretty good. It was, I mean, the steps he needed to take to get to there was pretty good. I mean, I will definitely watch this episode again just for the genius of Thawne. By the way, can we all talk about the big moment that Damien Dark is more or less the person responsible for the timeline getting reset? Not Barry Allen. Not any of the other superheroes. Damien Dark is the one that pep talked Barry, explained to Barry why he's helping him, all of these little things to get Barry to do it. Damien Dark's the one that was holding off the heroes so that Barry could finish his plan. Damien Dark is the hero of this story. Just a little thing for you to remind. I saw a super chat down here. What was I at? I was at 4. Sorry, not 4. Not even close to 4. 801. Okay. All right. Since 24 Crisis is erased, what if we see Eobard's story loop break and he perma-dies in part 5 and Eddie's resurrection is his legacy? I gotta think of that through in my head for a second. Let me reread it and try and break it down. Why is 2024 Crisis erased? That part I don't get yet. Perma dies in part 5. I don't think he permanently dies. That character is a character we're seeing back in the series finale, whenever that is. They're not just ending that character. Eddie is only in for 1 episode, and it seems to be a flashback. So I don't think any of that's going to be connected. If it is, I don't know how they get there yet. But I don't know what you mean by the 2024 Crisis is erased. Why is it erased? I missed whatever that was that got us there. All right, back to 801. Skinny Boy's about to watch part 4, so he'll come back afterwards. Fair enough. See, I told you there'll be some people doing exactly that. There were too many Legends references in the episode. Was there? There was obviously the reference about Damien and Nora. There's a reference about Legends dying. If there was a third reference, I can't think what it is off the top of my head. But I didn't have a problem with them. Unconfirmed that Gary killed Joe. Oh, God. You're still going on with that, eh, Brian? Hey guys, what's up, everyone? Well, this is up. This is what's up, Alexandra. I apologize if I'm butchering that name. It's just, for me, it doesn't flow off the tongue easily for me to say. To me, that Superman and Lois trailer was meant only 2 great shots, but it didn't excite me. Okay, there's something we can talk about right now to drag on until the 9 o'clock mark. The Superman and Lois trailer, I agree with you, did not excite me. I just watched it 10 minutes before we went on here because I had forgot about it for a while. Then was like, oh shit, I need to watch that. I watched it and kind of just like, all right. That's where I am with it. All right. I'm not sitting here going, boy, I can't wait to see what that's about, because there was nothing in there that's about worthy. Nothing. None of the characters in there interested me. Nothing exciting looked to be going on. Nothing. I would go as far as to say this might be the second worst season trailer I have seen in the Arrowverse. The only one that tops it was that Batwoman season 1 trailer, because this did nothing for me. There's nothing in it that I was like, what's that about? Tell me more. I need to see what's going on with this. When do these episodes come out? Nothing. Possibly, outside of that Batwoman season 1 trailer, possibly the worst trailer they've ever made for the Arrowverse. I'll get to you in 1 second, their silhouette. Let me just make sure I know where I am in the chat. 804. Okay. 2024, Barry and Eobard disappears in a crisis when they go to the year 2000. That was Eobard's loop. I feel like his plan in part 5 is that 3 years early. No. I don't. Eobard's always scheming. I'm sure he's got another scheme for 2024. I don't think that negates the 2024 timeline at this point. I mean, I can't say for certain. I don't write down every detail on where everything is in the timeline and what would connect to what, but I just don't think so. Eobard's a guy that's always scheming. I guarantee you he's got another scheme to do something. So I'm kind of not believing that one. 804, was it? 804? 805. 805. I don't like that everything that has happened during Armageddon is now getting erased. I don't think everything will, and I don't know how, because remember Eric Wallace said in one of his interviews that there will be things from this crossover that will reverberate out into the other shows. I don't know what those are yet, and who knows, but something from this crossover should impact other shows in other ways. I don't know how. I don't know. But I agree with you that it does seem 90% of what we just got completely wiped out, which some of that I'm thankful for. I mean, knowing that Ryan and Sophie aren't really actually a thing in this current timeline going forward is a relief. I mean, it doesn't mean it still won't happen, but for now, I can hold out hope that it's not a thing. 805. Will Mia and Barry team up to defeat Thawne? I don't know. I have no idea how Mia fits into it. The trailer didn't show anything to really answer that. Where was I? 805. This ep of Flash was insane. The only bad thing about it was Chester and Allegra thing. I just wasn't interested in that whatsoever. I understand that. I mean, I know for most people, Allegra is one of their least interesting characters, and Chester is only slightly above her. I was fine with it for the most part, only if it pays off down the road. If this scene never has any payoff down the road, I will agree with you. Try that in English. I will agree with you that that was wasted time. As of right now, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt to show me that this has some connectivity to something somewhere at some point. Armageddon confirmed that Ryan and Mary and Sophie confirmed that Ryan married Sophie and Mary becomes good again. In that timeline, yeah. Unfortunately, that's not our timeline. I mean, fortunately, but also unfortunately. So yeah. We're getting gold boots next week. You are. Looks lots to like tonight, but my favorite part was all that Damien Dark stuff felt like a nice epilogue to his legend story. Yeah. And a lot of people, there was so many questions people had about Damien Dark for this. First of all, why has he gone back to being a villainous person? Second of all, how is he alive? There was certain questions people wanted answered, and we got answers to those in this question, in this thing. We now know how he was alive. We now know that even though he definitely is a villain, he's a villain who was doing things because out of love, let's say. Anger due to love. There were parts of Damien Dark's story that you look at and you're like, all right, that doesn't ruin what Legends did for him, I think. I think he definitely got to shine more in this episode than most anyone else. You can talk about Tom Cavanaugh and Grant Gustin's parts all you want, but I think Neil McDonough as Damien Dark was surprisingly better than probably most people were expecting his character to be in it. There's definitely some timeline changes after Armageddon. Yeah, I remember reading that. Do you really believe Reverse Flash could kill Sarah? I more believe that Damien Dark kills Sarah. Of course, Reverse Flash can kill Sarah. Dude can move at a zillion times the speed of whatever Sarah's reflexes are. Done. You know how easy it is for Reverse Flash to just like pick up a rock, throw it at her, pick up another rock, throw it at her, pick up another rock, throw it at her, pick up another rock, throw it at her, and while she's trying to dodge all those, just come in and put his hand through his chest. He could kill anyone anytime he wanted. I'm hoping to see Diggle again. I think everybody is. We have Gary in the house. How you doing, Gary? What time was I at here? 8:07. Gary wants to know, is the Flash getting delayed later than November? November 2022, Gary? Question mark? We're past November there, bud. You need to cut and paste a new thing in there. How you doing, by the way, Gary? How you doing? Didn't know if you'd make it because it's a different night. How you doing? If you're wondering why the super chat doesn't come up on screen, by the way, Gary, I can't use StreamYards on my computer for some reason today, so I am just reading it off of YouTube. So that is why. We don't know if there is going to be a 10-year Arrowverse event yet. Hopefully there is, though. Yeah, I mean, they're probably loosely planning one, but they haven't put together a solid plan yet. They probably need to figure out first what shows are and aren't coming back and what characters are and aren't under contract. I think if they get those questions figured out first, then they can start to wonder if there's even anything to put together for a 10-year. Would anyone realistically be excited for a 10-year event if the only shows left are Batwoman, Superman and Lois, and Stargirl? because all of the shows that would be connected to the originality of the Arrowverse would be gone if Legends and Flash were to end this year, which we don't know if they are or aren't yet at this point. Would anyone care about a 10-year anniversary of the Arrowverse if the 3 shows airing it have no connectivity to the original part of it? I don't know. So I think they need to figure out where they are in what shows connect to where to get going. We'll see. They never explained why Ryan Choi was there, because he just is. I mean, they didn't have to. It's an alternate timeline. They also didn't explain how everyone knew Ryan Wilder and how Chilblain and Frost hooked up. Like, they didn't explain any of these things. They just did it. They didn't have to. They didn't have to explain because it's not a set in stone timeline. Hey, Paul, welcome back. I saw you earlier in my Twitch stream. Welcome. CG, do you have any theories or predictions on when we will see the gold boots in episode 5 and how we'll learn them? I have zero idea. None at all. No theories, nothing. Just, I know they're there. We all know they're there. That's all I can tell you. Dawn and Barry scenes are great. Reverse Flash new suit looks dope. I actually missed the fact that he had at the end when Thawne was standing there in Gideon's room. I can't remember what it's called. And he's in the new Reverse Flash suit. Completely zipped right by me. He was in the new Reverse Flash suit. I was already so used to seeing it on screen from Barry being in it. I forgot to process that he was now in the Reverse Flash suit. I will have to go back and look at that scene again. You know how crazy it is that that just went by me and I didn't even notice? Can't wait for next week episode to see the gold boots. All right. Batwoman didn't be there because filming for Batwoman. Huh? Batwoman. Oh, Batwoman couldn't be, but Batwoman was there. Batwoman was in the episode. Both Flash and Superman are getting new boots. Are they? I mean, I know Flash obviously is. I didn't know Superman was, because Barry is the paragon of love. Yeah. I really thought Batwoman was going to be killed off in the episode. Why would you think that? In the episode by Damien Darker, Reverse Flash. I don't know why you would have thought that. I really love the scene Barry traveling back in time. It was a good CGI scene. Okay, yeah, okay. I can't say it sticks in my head one way or the other, but fair enough. Superman has a new suit now. It looks less buff, and it looks sort of like his old Arrowverse suit. Really? See, I watched the trailer, but I guess the trailer just didn't impact me at all, that I didn't even notice he has a new suit. I'm not joking when I say that trailer did nothing for me. I don't get why Ryan is the Atom in an alternate timeline of an alternate future. It's annoying that he's not the Atom in the actual timeline. No one says he won't be the Atom eventually in this timeline, but let's remember, as of 2 years ago, he had zero interest in being a superhero. Just 2 years ago. You don't go from 2 years ago being not even caring about being a superhero to now being a superhero with your own suit in 2 years. In fact, in that story, we saw in 2031, Chester was still making his suit. Just remember that. Even if he wants to become a superhero today, we may not see the full impact of that for years to come. Just give me 1 second here, guys. I'll be 1 minute with you. I had an itch on my back that was driving me nuts, and I didn't think you guys would want to watch me sit there with a back scratcher scratching my back for 20 seconds. I love seeing Barry run around England. I think China, those shots was phenomenal. Chef's kiss, comic book accurate. I noticed he ran through Paris at one point. I can't remember China or England, but I'm sure he did. Maybe I just was looking down or writing notes at the time it happened. Uh, why is there so many pep talks? Paragon of Love. Paragon of Love needs pep talks, okay? Um, I don't have a problem with some of them. There are times where there are ones and you're just like, was that necessary? But half of the time, I actually don't have a problem with the pep talks. They work into the story perfectly fine. Was there any tonight that really didn't need to be there? Maybe like the Alex with Chester or Allegra, whichever one she was talking to. I mean, we're talking about a timeline where that's never going to come to fruition. That was a minute of screen time maybe they could have put elsewhere. But most of them worked. I mean, think without Thawne's pep talk to Barry about being the Paragon of Love, nothing changes. History ends up happening, and we no longer have the Flash. So pep talks sometimes work. Bro, I got no return of the Mac this episode. I'm pissed off. Oh, that would have been gold if they had just had like Return of the Mac playing in the background in the room when like Barry walks in or something. And like Damien turns around like, oh, hi. I think Armageddon might have changed a lot of things in the Arrowverse as a whole. I don't think it's going to change a lot. I think one or two small changes. I did love opening credits show Tom Cavanaugh's. Did it? I have to go watch that again? Oh, I missed that. Those little things that if you're not expecting it, you miss it, right? Like when Tom was in the reverse Flash suit at the end of the show, I was so used to already seeing it from Barry being in it, didn't think twice about the fact that this is the first time I saw Tom in that suit. I missed Tom in the opening credits. I'll have to go back and check that. I think Ryan Choi will probably get the Atom suit in present day, and him and Ray will end up doing the Kate Bishop Hawkeye thing. I don't think so at all. Not at all. I talked to Osric after they'd finished, after they'd wrapped that. I'm like, have they talked to you at all about coming back for any guest star roles? He goes, not at all. So as of then, he hadn't even been approached with the idea of coming back. And that would have been for at least next 5 or 6 episodes of content. They would have known their schedule by then. So by like episode like 11-ish, they hadn't even considered bringing him back. So no, I don't think so at all. This episode was great. My favorite so far. It might be my favorite too. This and episode 2 are kind of right near the top. 1 and 2, I don't know which one's first, which one's second. I might have to think a little harder on it, but yeah, it was a great episode. Are Michael Shanks and Lexa Doig nice? Yes and yes. We got no hot in here. Well, that's because the door was closed while he was getting hot in there. Hi CG, it's been a while. Hey Robert, how are you? How am I? All right. John Constantine was mentioned giving Chilblain and Frost. Yeah. That's right, he was. Which I find weird because as of right now, as far as I know, doesn't Constantine still not have powers? So they're kind of, I mean, granted, again, different timeline. Maybe he never lost his powers in that timeline. I have to keep remembering that little tidbit in my brain that, hey, things in here could possibly be different. It was really good. The Reverse Flash for Barry and Thawne didn't thought they would do it. Hoped. I'm glad. Was really good. The Reverse Lightning for Barry and Thawne didn't thought they would do. I get what you're saying. I just reading it was hard to understand. Yeah. Okay. I didn't even notice the lightning had been reversed. All these little things I didn't notice that some of you guys, obviously, you pay much more attention to the details than I do on some of these. Am I ready for Spider-Man No Way Home? Yep. Superman Lois trailer, nobody cared to even reactions. The trailer did not give me that tingly feeling I get when I'm excited for something that's awful and cared about the Flash. Yeah, like I mean, I've said it now more than once. That trailer just didn't do anything for me. The only trailer I can undisputedly say is worse than that is that Batwoman season 1 trailer. Every other trailer, I can't think of another. There might be another one out there. I'm just forgetting, but I can't think of another one off the top of my head that I'm less whelmed by than that one. I need to rewatch Flash and get a better understanding of what's going on. Okay. I need to rewatch the Flash ep at least 3 more times. All right. Eobard plans got plans. Yeah, they do. Glad to hear Joe is alive. Yeah, that was a big one. That was a cool little scene, the way they just slid that in there. And it's just Candace is just like, or Iris is just like, I'm gonna call Joe, and Barry's like, who? Hi, can I speak to him? That was awesome. I haven't watched the ep, but does Eobard even like Iris? Do they kiss? Did they kiss? I don't think they do. They definitely hug one time. I don't remember an actual kiss. The only kiss I can remember is Chester and Allegra, I think, did. We have another super chat, 819. I will get back there in a minute. Are you mad at me? Are you proud of me? Gary Gammon wants to know these 2 questions right now. Mad at you? No. Not unless you're the one that's messing up my stream yard on my computer, but I don't think you are. Am I proud of you? Sometimes. Sometimes I can be. How are you today? 819 was where I was. 819. All right, there we are. I guess we know Ryan and Sophie get married in that timeline. Got to keep remembering, people. Just, I don't know how many times I'll have to hammer this home. I'm sure it's going to be many. This is an alternate timeline. Hi, Laura. Welcome. Laura V, that is. I think Ryan and Sophie are still going to happen. Unfortunately, so do I, but I can hope, I hope Batwoman, Superman, and Lois Legends show and reference those repercussions. I'm intrigued about that. What repercussions? We have 0 repercussions right now. Everything's been undone because we're back in 2021. At this immediate second, there are no repercussions yet. If something happens in episode 5, then we have to decide there if there's repercussions. I see your super chat. I'll get it to it in 1 second. I want to catch up 1 or 2 more minutes here. Try and stay close to on pace. The golden boots are coming next week. Correct. Yeah, but Iris Media Empire was probably erased. Why would that be erased? She was in 2021 being an empire. It was funny, Caitlin's reaction when Chester and Allegra kissed. Yeah, it was a little bit, yeah. I want to see memes of other villains wearing the Flash suit like Lex Luthor. I don't know if that would make any sense. Why? Why would he be wearing it? The spoiled Two-Face probably coming. Alternate timeline. I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say that. I realize you guys all made these comments before I'm like saying it right now. But yeah, I'm sure I'll be saying that several more times tonight. Chester and Allegra to me is the same way I feel about Wildmore. Fair enough. I have less of a reaction to that as I do Wildmore, because Wildmore consists of the lead character in the show and another main in the show, and that is just going to bog down your show with shitty romance storylines. That's why I don't care for that. Chester and Allegra are 2 lead or regulars, but they're not primary characters who are in every scene. 823. Okay. Have I met Ralph Macchio? Is he nice? Sort of. I mean, what I mean by sort of is I sort of met him. So he was here doing Psych movie was here, and no one knew he was here for it. And we were at the wrap party for them, talking, getting autographs from the cast, and a guy walks by, stops to talk to Steve Franks, who's the creator of the show. He's like, blah, 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 thanks for bringing me in, all this stuff. He walks away, and three of us are standing there all like, I know him. Why do I know him? Finally, like 8 seconds later, one of us was like, oh, that's Ralph Macchio. We're like, Ralph Macchio, fuck, and we never really got to interact with him. Seen him, haven't really talked to him. Gary also wanted to know, do I think The Flash will get a season 9? That all comes down to whether Grant wants to do a season 9 at this point. I think if Grant is up for season 9, there's a season 9. If Grant says he's not interested, the show ends. That's the point we're at right now. It's kind of like the Supergirl situation with Melissa. It's up to whenever he decides he wants to continue. As of right now, the last anybody knows, the last time Grant talked about his contract situation was several months ago, when he specifically said he signed on for season 8 and did not continue any further with the discussion. The way he worded it was, as of right now, I'm signed on for season 8. Did not specify anything about season 9 or onwards. So no one knows where he stands. Poor Cisco got killed by Reverse Flash again. I know, right? Poor guy. That's just like his job, is to die at the hands of Reverse Flash. You're waiting for Flash reactions? Yeah, I'll have my hands full with those once I get off here too. Gary, what is on the Batwoman set you were on? I want to know. Okay. We can talk about that. I've seen a couple of things. They've been filming downtown a lot this week, which is weird because all season they haven't been downtown at all, more than a little bit here and a little bit there. I'll get to your super chat in a minute, Gary, so I will get there. So the first scene that I saw was Jada Jet in her like fancy rich people car show up outside of the what's it called, the Rabbit Hole or something like that, the bar that Kate used to own. She shows up outside of there with some coffee cups and goes walking in towards the inside of the Rabbit Hole. There's then another scene right after that where she's coming back out from the Rabbit Hole without all the coffee cups and that to go back to her car. And Sophie is in the alley and confronts her, and they have a talk. They have a good minute-long talk before Jada gets in her car and drives away. And then Sophie just stands there looking annoyed. Then you see Sophie talk to someone off camera who we don't actually see in the scene. She talks to the person for a minute, then turns around and runs down the alley after the car. I don't know any more context except that, but it looks at this is the finale. I believe they're filming, even though they still have a few days left. I believe this scene might be for the finale because it's Eric Dean Seaton is directing it, and I know he wasn't directing 12 as far as I recall. So it looks at as in like episode 12 or 13. Jada, Jet, and Sophie still seem to be having some differences, butting of the heads. Now, another scene I saw, and by saw, I should paraphrase it differently. I was there while they were filming it inside a building. I know a few details from the inside. I know the inside, they were doing a scene with that, what's that new group? What was that big henchman group that they introduced this year? I forgot the name of it already. But they were doing a scene with them inside there. And there was 3 characters that I know were inside. And then I've seen post Nick Cregan and Megan Tandy and that, or someone else posted no, it was Nick Cregan. Nick Cregan had posted a photo that implies at least 2 other characters were there at different points. So Nick Cregan posted a photo that had a chair for Javicia, a chair for Rachel, a chair for Robin Givens, and a chair for himself. So those are 4 people that were apparently in this scene. I did not see Robin Givens at that set, and I did not see Javicia at that set. That Black Glove Society, thank you, everybody. So I did see 3 people there, though. 2 of them were 2 of the people that had the chairs there. Rachel was still in her Alice garb, which, by the way, she did a scene a couple of days earlier that a couple people got some pixely photos of that never went anywhere, where she looked like Beth. I was not there for that scene, so I can't comment more on it. I haven't even looked at the photos myself. I was just told about them by another person who knows the person that took the photo. So there was Rachel there as Alice. Nick was there with his purple hair and a new orange suit, which if you've seen his Instagram story or my tweet about his Instagram story, you kind of can see the upper half of the suit. The bottom half looked like orange sweatpants. It's kind of the best way I could describe them. I'm sure on TV they look classier than that, but to me they look like orange sweatpants. But it was an all orange suit. One other person was there, and I kind of am like, WTF? I saw this person come into town last week. Didn't know why they were in town. I did not think it was for Batwoman, because I'm like, can't be for Batwoman. They're not on the show anymore. Sam Littlefield was there, who, if you're like, I don't remember that name, he's the one that plays Mouse. Mouse is there with his burned face, was there. I don't know why. Can someone tell me how Mouse is back? There you go. There's your spoiler of the day. We will get back to, was there a super chat? There is. Oh, there's a couple of super chats. Will the rest of the Arrowverse get renewed? Superman and Lois and Batwoman are pretty much a guarantee. Supergirl or Stargirl is a guarantee. What am I missing? Legends of Tomorrow. I can't see Legends of Tomorrow going on, but I've been wrong before about them. And the Flash all comes down to whether Grant wants to do it or not. Are you familiar with Outlaw Hobbies? Yeah, I work with them almost all the time. If I don't need somebody, or I'm just not doing anything at that time, and they call me up and they're like, hey, can you come and help us with somebody? I work for them on a once in a while. So I'm very familiar with them. Outside of myself, they would be the next person I would refer someone to if they're looking for something specific. For autographs. For those of you that didn't know what I was talking about. Where was I in the chat? So long ago I forgot where. There I am. A Bars is back. I don't know what that meant. Chill Blaine was tolerable in this ep for a bit. Even Damien Dark called him Chill Lane. Yeah, the Chill Lane line had me laughing. There's 2 lines in this. One had me laughing, and one I'm just like, I hope I find a reason to use that again. What was that line I wrote down? There's one line that I had a good laugh at. I have 7 post-it notes of things about the episode. When it hits 9 o'clock, I'll start talking more about the episode in detail. For now, we're just kind of chit-chatting. Is it this late in the episode? Oh, yeah. Ryan Choi at one point just goes, Chester's my boy, and I know what my boy needs. It just sounds so bad in context. If you just see that in plain text, it sounds weird. I still laughing at that. Fon's new suit. Yeah, apparently, and I didn't even notice he was wearing it. I mean, Batwoman left early because of filming. Well, she didn't leave. It's not like she was there. They're like, Javicia, we need to do more scenes. She's like, Can't. Got my own scenes to do. They would have known her schedule ahead of time. However many scenes they gave her that many scenes because they knew that's how many days they had to work with her. Caitlin reaction to Chester and Allegra. Yeah, it was. So I looked at Legends rating for the current season and higher than last season's ratings. That's good to hear. Scene where Barry was running actually happened in Batman Brave and the Bold as well, and Young Justice. It looks so similar. It was crazy. Okay, all right. Well, I like when they take super previous material and they kind of try to play similar to it. I like that. I haven't watched the app, but does Eobard? Oh, I've read that already. We had a reverse flashpoint paradox. Sure did. He even called it a reverse flashpoint. Did anyone notice Tom Cavanaugh could barely move in the reverse flash suit? I did not. Can you please answer my question? I don't know what your question is. If it was the kiss one, I answered that a while ago. I mean, I realized when you posted that, I hadn't got to that point yet, so yeah. Will Barry actually fight a villain other than Reverse Flashkin? Yeah, of course. So Luke or Chester could not make Batwoman a different suit. I knew this question was going to come up. I knew it. I knew people were going to be like, how is it that Alex and Batwoman don't have new suits? Same with Barry. Barry didn't, or The Flash didn't have a new suit. It just is. Maybe they looked at it and they're like, this suit doesn't need upgrades. Or the upgrades are in ways that doesn't show physically, you know? So I'm not going to nitpick them over that. They weren't going to make a brand new suit just for a show that's supposed to be set 10 years in the future. Oh, you know what? I have an excuse for that. In that timeline, they only got to making those upgrades now. There you go. There's your excuse. Amy Jo Johnson posted a photo of her and Tyler on Instagram. She directed episode 6 and shows out the new Superman. Biggest tweak is the boots more comic book accurate. Yeah, I saw her post. I never noticed any difference in the suit, but I also don't sit there looking at the suit all day wondering if it looks different. So I'll take your word for it. Is Katie Lotz nicer than Candace Patton and Katie Cassidy? Yes. That's not a hard race to win, though. Barry cannot play evil. Oh, okay. Osric Chow can lie. You know, he is a Hollywood actor after all. He could, but I usually am pretty good at knowing when someone's being honest with me. He had no reason at that time to be lying. If you think he's lying about that, then you would also be like when he did that interview with Chainsaw Reacts 2 years ago and said then they hadn't contacted him at that time. You would have said the same thing, be like, oh, well, maybe he lied. Took 2 years for him to show back up. So I'm pretty certain he was just telling me the truth. Eric Wallace doesn't watch Legends. Okay. Constantine did get back his powers, I think, though, from a fountain of Imperium. Oh, okay. See, I don't watch that show anymore, so I don't even know what's going on. All I know is the character Constantine isn't on the show anymore. How many times will Barry and Iris lose their children? I don't know. Have they lost any of them? I mean, they lost Nora once, but she's back. They haven't lost the other two yet. Where are the Batwoman news, CG, the sets I want to know? I just talked about that a few minutes ago. As for the photos for that set, I literally just like half an hour before I sat down for this live chat, literally started going through the photos, even picking out the ones I'm going to put in my blog. So it's probably another day, maybe longer, because there's a lot of Batwoman sets coming up downtown. So I might just do them all as one set. We'll see. Could be a while then. Wonder if we'll get Naomi trailer next week during the Flash. I don't know. Cecile and the Psycho Pirate mask was funny. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see that mask again. I couldn't remember the name of it to save my life when it was on live. I wasn't expecting that. Hawkeye episode 4 comes out tomorrow. Thank you for that reminder. Yesterday I sat there. I'm like, when's Hawkeye? And then I forgot about it again until right now that you said it. Thanks for that reminder. It's weird that the Flash still mentions Legends, even though Legends is so different from the Flash. Well, I mean, they had characters on there that had connections to the Legends, right? I mean, you have to acknowledge them when they're there. I want a Naomi trailer now to see if I would be more intrigued, because they gave me zero interest to watch the show. So I guess that was the end of the sentence. I sort of agree with you there, Malik. That first trailer they had did nothing for me. It's kind of in the Superman and Lois trailer category. Did nothing for me. Especially considering that's their first trailer, it was very underwhelming. Irish media is probably erased because Joe is alive, meaning that everything this season is erased. Oh, that is a really good point. That's a really good point, Gamer Man. So if Joe's alive, that means everything else that happened, in theory, should not exist anymore. Like, we know Star Labs is back because they were hanging out in Star Labs having Big Belly Burger. Does that mean Iris does not have her media company at the point that it is now again? They can softly work around that and be like, yeah, it still would have happened that way either way. They can get around that. But as of right now, you're technically right that it could be gone. The Candace Patton fans would lynch them, beat them with a stick, revive them, and then burn them at the stake if they did that, though. So I don't think they're going to. But technically, I guess you're right. It could be. It'd be funny if it did. Have I met Jaden Smith? No. I've met his dad. Haven't met him. I sent a super chat. Yeah, I got that a while ago, Gary. Thank you. Have I met Hillary Swank? Nope. Grant was advertising episode 4 this evening. He was stammering while talking so much he said kind of stated that Tom Cavanaugh annoys him. Okay. Saw there's a lot of snow in Vancouver. No, there is in the outskirts. Downtown Vancouver itself gets very little. I walked to the Batwoman set yesterday when it was supposed to be snowing everywhere. There was a little snow mixed in with our rain, but where I was, downtown Vancouver, is like 70% rain. I did notice on my walk to the set, there was a patch of ground, maybe about 30 feet along, that had some snow coverage on it. Like, you could tell it had snowed today, but you could also tell it was probably melting away pretty quick. Nowhere else on my walk did I see any snow coverage. And while I was at the set, like I said, it was maybe like 70% rain, 30% snow at its peak. But if you drove even 10 minutes outside of Vancouver, yeah, it is like an inch or two of snow on the ground. Black Love, yep. We're at the point where I finally talked about that. Did Armageddon cause Ocean to come back? I don't know. We saw a photo on Twitter with Rachel, Ocean, and Marcus. We did? Oh, I never saw this photo. Who posted it, Malik? Can you remember? I'll look for that later. When you answer me, can you remind me what you're answering to? Just be like, this is about the Rachel, Ocean, Marcus photo. Or else I might get there and just be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I did not know that. Show us pictures of Superman Lois season 2 whenever you can. Well, if they ever fucking film downtown, I happily would. That show hasn't come on this side of the river, as far as I know, all season. Their studio is on the other side of the river. Their Smallville set is on the other side of the river. The farm set's on the other side of the river. These are all places I don't go 95% of the time. The first season, they did a whole bunch of shots in downtown Vancouver. That's why you were getting content. They have not been downtown, as far as I know, yet this season. And they're probably like halfway through the season right now. It's weird. That being said, Batwoman was barely downtown in the first half of the year. This last week and a half, they're downtown a lot. Wish they'd been downtown a little more spread out. We're going to get like 9 days of Batwoman in a row downtown. I wish they had scattered those out throughout the season. I don't know what's going on. Something definitely changed. I don't know what that was in reference to. HBO Max should add the current budget of the CW Arrowverse shows so that those people who bash them will make them wrong. I kind of don't get where you're trying to say there, Paul. HBO Max has no pull on any of the shows except the ones that are on HBO Max. So Flash and Legends, they have no say on that. Did I meet Peter Sargent while she was here? Sort of. I didn't meet her, but a couple other people did, so I was there when she stopped to sign for them. But I didn't meet her. Do you think that Armageddon brought back Mouse? I doubt it. I don't know, though. That would be so far back in the timeline to be pulling things back from, right? Like, if you're saying that Mouse is back, you could then be like, well, maybe Oliver Queen is back. Maybe Moira Queen is back. Maybe, like, there has to be a point where they're like, this is the hard line where things didn't change. I think if you can go back as far as most, then you're starting to tiptoe into everybody could be back. And I think that's too big of a door to open. It is 9 o'clock right now. I'm going to just retweet that tweet about the live chat so that people just ending the West Coast one will know to come in, and then we can talk more about it in a minute. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. That one. I almost clicked on the wrong one. All right. Dude, it's like 10:51 right now. It's 8:51 here. Well, it was 8:51 at the time of that post. Could it benefit Melissa professionally to return to Supergirl? She is a professional like WB is. Hey, come back, we'll pay you and also give you additional funding for your production company. If she cared about that, 102%, yeah, but she doesn't. I don't know how many times I have to say this to people. She does not give a fuck. She does not. This is not her end goal to be rich and famous. Her end goal seems to be just make stuff she's happy doing. And if it flops, she'll just be like, okay, well, oh well. She knows that she's got paychecks coming down the line if she ever needs them. Like, she's got zero interest in coming back as Supergirl. You can ask the question every way you want, Scott, and I realize you want it to happen. It's long as Melissa Benoist is in the body of Melissa Benoist, that's not happening. If someone else takes over her body, it could happen. What's your thoughts on Alec Baldwin interview? I didn't watch it. I saw the headlines in Twitter and all that where he said he didn't pull the trigger and all that. I don't believe it, but I didn't watch the interview. Are you enjoying the TV tournament? To a degree. What I enjoy, Gamer, I actually enjoy looking at them and having to make that decision. I don't enjoy when I get the fans replying to each other in the replies and I have to mute the conversation. I wish there were a way to I wish Twitter could make a way where you could get the notification from someone, but you don't have to ever read the replies right away. Like, that's a thing Twitter needs to work on. I'm liking them, though. I don't agree with some of the shows that are in there, but that's each person's opinion, you know. Apologies. Hey, Caroline, welcome. That was like 10 minutes ago. Hopefully you're still here. All right. Adios, Brian. Married to the Real just reacted to Superman and Lois trailer. Trailer looked bored. Tasha seemed intrigued. Okay. All right. I'll look at the reaction later. I have a lot of reactions to catch up to tonight because of the Flash and now the Superman and Lois trailer, probably. Have I met Clint Eastwood? Yes. Is he nice? Not really. Have I met Robert Downey Jr.? Yes. Is he nice? Not really. Did anyone realize the quality of the Flash episode was cinematic? It looks so cool. Wish they would keep that filter. I did not notice at all. Someone just text me? No, just my stupid data warning thing. So weird. Okay, so a few months ago, my phone company, Rogers, talked to me. They gave me a new plan. My new plan has like, I've fucking forgot how many gigs. Let's throw out a stupid number like 12. My phone, which is a new phone that I got with that plan, still gives me a warning when I hit 2 gigs, which was my old plan. I don't know why. Didn't anyone realize? I read that one. Didn't you say Vanessa Morgan used to not be nice, but has gotten nicer? No, I think it was backwards. First couple times I met her, I didn't have a problem with her. Then there was one time at the airport. I don't know if she was just in a bad mood. I don't know if because she had a handler, the handler was like making her, you know, be cranky. But she was a bitch at the airport one time. But it was once, just once. If I gave everybody that was just an ass a negative review off one encounter, there'd be a lot more, you know. Lindsay Morgan is another example. I one time had one negative experience with her. 40 other nice ones, but I had one negative one. So, you know, those things happen. I haven't seen Vanessa Morgan in a couple of years, though, so I can't say how she is now. Don't remember who posted the Rachel Marcus and Ocean pic. Okay. I'll try and find it later. Have I met Will Ferrell? Yes. James Caan? Yes. Zoe Deschanel? No. Mary Steenburgen? I don't think so. Ed Asner? No. Bob Newhart? No. If you're asking who's nice out of there, because I'm sure that's your follow-up question, James Caan wasn't too bad. Will Ferrell's an asshole, but I got him. And everybody else I didn't meet, or I don't remember if I've met. Well, it's reverse Flashpoint, so it could be reverse timeline change. There's so many reverse things it could be. Moira Queen is alive again, though. LOL. Oh my God! Right, I forgot about that. Oops. Okay, fine. Robert Queen. Gotcha. The Arrow finale pretty much undid the whole show's events, right? Except Robert Queen and Black Canary 1.0. And Shadow and Yao Fei. No, Yao Fei was in the final. See, there was a few. All right, just finished episode 4. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was. Do you think Batwoman goes back to longer seasons for season 4? Do 13 again like this season? I feel they're probably going to go forward with this 13 idea for now. I don't know, though. I don't know. I think they're going to move more towards these half-season shows. I think that's probably their long-term agenda. Making 22 episodes of television is hard in this new era we're in, because the attention span of people isn't there that it was 30 years ago. People don't want to watch 22 episodes over 8 months anymore. So I could see them making their whole roster 13-episode seasons eventually. Maybe 1 or 2 shows like The Flash or Superman and Lois which gets stronger numbers, maybe get more. I'm going to take one break here for about a minute. My throat's annoying me. I want to just have a good cough about it. I'll be back. All right. Hopefully that does a little better. It was just getting to the point that I was clearing my throat like every 10 seconds and it was getting annoying. All right. You could bring Laura Vandervoort back as Supergirl. That would be preferable, but don't see them ever doing that. If Melissa ditches CW, that's it for her. Look at Stephen Amell and certain other people, their career can go south. No, I disagree. Arrowverse isn't making or breaking your career at this point. Not saying it can't, but I'm not saying that's a locked-in like thing, man. I disagree with that. Stephen Amell is a different. I think Melissa Benoist has more options available than Stephen Amell. We'll just have to disagree. We'll just have to disagree about Melissa. No hard feelings, my friend. Let's see if she comes back for the 10th anniversary. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, I understand you want it to happen. And, I have enough experience being around this industry that even though I don't know her per se, I know what I can read how people are. And 80% of the time, I'm going to be 100% right. Another 15% of the time, I'm going to be like 90% right. And then there's that 5% of the time, I might get one wrong here and there. You know, I don't think she has any interest in coming back unless it's her only option. Have you met Betty White? She turns 100 next month. I have. She was wonderful. I wish she would come back. CG literally noticed nothing. Someone on Twitter said it looked like Titans, the Flash episode. I don't get that. Right now, I'm holding on to all shows that have votes till after the 10th. Only the winner of the polls move forward. Okay. Did I just skip a whole bunch of minutes, or am I actually caught up to the chat? I remember reading those. Okay, am I really caught up to the chat, guys? Weird. That's so weird. Do you think they should have recast Chadwick Boseman? No. I don't think they should have went ahead with Black Panther 2, considering they don't have a replacement for him. I mean, I get they're gonna make a replacement, but I don't like the idea of it. Feel like Shadowhunters has a chance of winning. Yeah, their fans are nuts. Here's the problem when you have a poll like that: is there's certain fandoms, they're just always going to just be like, save my show. Yeah, I know it's been off the air for 58 years. Save my show. I realize cast are all dead. Save my show. These people never are going to stop trying to save that show, even though the cast have all moved on. Shadowhunters is probably going to win your poll. It also doesn't help when you're on Twitter, because you have no control over who votes on your poll. You have no control over a Shadowhunters fan that runs 32 Shadowhunters alt accounts. You know, when I do my poll for my awards, I at least have the ability to block people trying to use multiple votes from the same IP or same device. A friend of mine who's passed away since then, so I always have to like baby this piece of technology as long as I can, even wrote a script for me on my site so that I can look and see if there's any like negligent voting going on that somehow has skipped those two things. Now, I have to be very certain, but I still can look at it and be like, you know what, these 32 votes just out of the blue for this one show and they didn't vote on anything else, that's a little suspicious, like those type of things. But yeah, when you're just have a poll on Twitter, there's all sorts of room for suspicion, man. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure you're not doing it for like any super special reason. You can always just disregard whatever happens. Skinny Boy says he'd give this episode a 7 out of 10. I have to say, Skinny Boy, I think that's too low. I mean, you're allowed to feel that. I want to hear why. Tell me why you think it's a 7 out of 10. I had this conversation on my Twitch stream. I said right on there, I'm like, anyone that gives it less than an 8, I really need to hear their excuse why. Because I think I gave it about a 9 to a 9.25. And I do not know how someone gives it less than an 8. I will listen to your reason, but right now I disagree with you. So feel free to let me know in the comments why you give it only a 7. Didn't we see Jonathan getting that kitty? Yeah. And that girl last season from Central City in his parents' house. That's got to be a cringe, uncomfortable scene. Yeah. There's still people who want Hellcats back after all these years. Is there? I mean, I get there's a few people when it happened, but not now. I mean, fucking Ali Michalka is like 35 years old now. No one wants to see her as a cheerleader. There's a certain point where you got to just give up on your show. There was a show I used to love called Dead Like Me. I used to think there was a chance that show could come back for a long time. They came back, did a movie for it, which was atrocious. And even after that, I'm like, there's still a chance. But there just came a point where I finally went, you know what? I don't want this show back because these cast have all, like, they're all 10 to 15 years older now. I don't want a show with old Dead Like Me cast. There's another show I love called Leverage that's back right now. They just did another run recently. I haven't watched the episodes yet. I'm hoping they're good. I'm really hoping they're good. But I am cautiously optimistic that maybe it won't be because it's hard to restrike that lightning. I don't understand why someone would want a show back after it's been off the air for more than 3 years. I think a 3-year window, sure, make your pitch for it. See if you can make it happen. After 3 years, you're talking like TV movie at best potential. Even then, it's a 50-50 split. Out of all the things I really liked that came back for a TV movie, it's like a 50-50 split whether they were good or not. Malik says 9.5 for the episode. And they're in the 30s now. Yeah, that I just said, yeah. I think Supergirl fandom won a poll. Supergirl fandoms are always trying to win polls. Saw on Twitter, Candace collected the award for Flash tonight. She's busy. What award? Can you tell me what award this is even about? Because I don't know. Even Candace tweeted that Thawne got to go. He is doing too much. I don't know what. You have to give me much more context than that. What part does he talk about Superman and Lois? I talked about it a while ago. I basically just talked about the trailer that came out today. Very quick cliff notes of it. I wasn't impressed by it. Very underwhelmed. I compared it to being, in my personal opinion, the second worst trailer I can remember from the Arrowverse. The only one worse is Batwoman Season 1. And it's not to say that it was awful. It just was underwhelming. It didn't give me any reason to care about this show. So that's what I felt about the Superman and Lois Season 2 trailer. That was a very Cliff Notes version of what I said about it. Well, Dexter came back. Yes, it did. I haven't watched that yet either. Have I met Michael C. Hall? Yeah, a couple times. First time I met him, he was super nice. Second time I met him, he was okay. Fair enough. My reason why I gave it a 7 is because even though I enjoyed the episode, I don't think there was enough for personally to give it an 8 or a 9, but I'm glad you enjoyed the episode. All right. I mean, when I see someone give it a 7, I feel like there's something in the episode that they're like, this is what's wrong. That's usually, like, for me to give a 7 means I like the episode, but there is a glaring mistake that you can't overlook type problem. So I don't know. Something Choice Award. I think Candace has surprisingly been busy at Comic-Con and collecting a reward for Flash. Wow, I'm surprised. Yeah, she did a convention down in LA this weekend. A few people were down there. Like, not a few people from the Flash, but a few people from the Arrowverse. I'm ready for Naomi trailer. They gave me 0 interest. Yeah, you said that a while ago. I basically agreed with you. I'm surprised the A-Team beat Breaking Bad and Sopranos. I'm not. Here's why. I'll tell you why. Breaking Bad and Sopranos might be amazing quality television. I've watched Breaking Bad season 1 and 2. This is what I'll say about it. I didn't care for it. Didn't interest me. Didn't entertain me. But I can see it and understand and acknowledge the quality of the show is fucking phenomenal. Acting phenomenal, directing phenomenal, writing phenomenal, cinematography phenomenal. But the content of it was just not interesting. I don't care about that industry. I don't care about, I found the characters hard to care about. But I understand people who love quality television that like the type of shows that get Emmy nominations would love this show because I understand why it won awards. So the A-Team, on the other hand, is more of a fun, frolicky action show. I can understand those shows beating Breaking Bad and The Sopranos. I've run my awards on my site for like 11 years. In the drama category, I don't think... damn it, I'm going to have to open it up and look. Where's my awards? I want the overall winners. Okay. All right, for my drama category, it's been a mixed bag. There's a couple of shows that I would say are sincerely what I would call quality dramas, and then there's others that are just in it for the action. So here's the list of winners I've had on for the drama category. Dexter, I'd call that a quality show at that time. Castle, Castle, Arrow. I would call those more your fun shows, action shows. Castle is a good show, but it's a little popcorny. Person of interest, that's bordering on quality. I would put it just slight, like if this is the bar for quality for what I would call like a Emmy quality show, I put Person of Interest like right here. Sherlock, there you go, quality show. Scorpion, I never watched, so I can't even give an opinion on what it was about. Hawaii Five-O, action. It's just an action show. Blacklist, I would put in that Emmy category. So off my list of drama shows that have won in my drama category, like 3 of them are quality shows. The rest are just action or fun shows. So when shows like Breaking Bad or The Sopranos don't win, I'm not surprised, because I know from my own experiences, very rarely do those shows break through into the top percent for viewers and devoted fans. Did you meet James Gandolfini before he passed? Yes, I did. I didn't meet him for long. I wasn't even there for him. I was there for someone else. And one of the other autograph guys goes to me and goes, "Can you get this signed for me?" And I grab it from him, put it in front of James. He signed it, handed it back, and went on back to going for whoever else I was at. Someone that doesn't matter now. Obviously, looking back, I should have been there more for James, but couldn't have known at that time. 7.5, because mostly for relationship pep talks. Now, see, there you go. You brought a reason into it, and I can respect a 7.5 if you look at it and you're like, too many relationship pep talks. I can respect that. I still disagree, but I respect having a reason. People simping over Superman and Lois, but not an interesting enough show to make 100 videos about the theorized, so meh. I don't know what that means. My voice is really going today. I think because I did like an hour earlier on the I didn't really do an hour. I did like 20 minutes, because most of the time I sat there staring at a television. I don't know. The format of Armageddon seems to be working for this event. I think they should do this format crossover where everybody comes to one show next time. Here's the problem. How do you decide which show to do? And if you're the producers of the other shows, you're going to be pretty pissed at on any given year. You have to give up your lead for a few days to go to another show to pump up their show's revenue, and you get no kickback from it. A fully encompassing crossover is beneficial for all parties. This one is only helping the Flash. So I don't see that. I don't see that as a long-term plan for them. A more traditional crossover between multiple shows. Yeah, I guess I just explained my reason for that. Haven't met George Papard, Dirk Benedict, Dwight Schultz, and Mr. T. No, and sort of. I actually saw Mr. T walking down the road while he was here filming something one time, and he was literally in the middle of a phone call, and I wasn't going to stop him and ask him anything at the time. The other 3 never met. George Papard's dead. I think he was dead like for 20 years already. Actually, now that you bring it up, I wasn't that invested in the future Chester and Allegra love story. If I do pay off later, I would most likely change my score to an 8. All right, fair enough. And I think that's going to be the thing most people are going to have their nitpick apart about, is the Chester and Allegra stuff. It was the part most people are kind of like, what and why, you know. Have I met David Hasselhoff? Yes. And have I seen Knight Rider? Do you mean, have I seen Knight Rider, the TV show? Yeah, of course. I was a kid during that era. That was one of the most popular shows for kids. Like kids that were allowed to stay up that late, I guess. A true test of how season 8 of The Flash will be episode 6 to 18. Yep, correct. I am basing this season as 2 different parts, 1 to 5 and 6 to 18. Skinny Boy made a comment, CG 23 minutes. If you're talking about the Superman trailer, I read that. Oh wait, no, maybe I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't impressed by the new Superman Lois trailer. It wasn't bad, but it was okay, and I thought the first season was pretty good, but I don't like it as much as other people. Okay, all right. I mean, I'm kind of a little bit the same there. With like, I really liked Superman Lois. I thought it was a great show. I'm brutally honest. I'm more entertained by Batwoman and the Flash. Do I think Superman and Lois is a better quality show? Yes. This goes all the way back to the Breaking Bad conversation we just had a few minutes ago. Quality versus entertainment. Show can be quality made, but not as entertaining as an entertainment made, less quality show. And that's where I am right now. If I had to base the shows off of how much I like them, Superman and Lois goes third. If I base it off of the quality of them, it's first. Well, I'm more surprised about Sopranos because it was on Watch Mojo's top 10 20s. Watch Mojo makes these ridiculous lists all the time, and they've got their little fanboys in the room that just regurgitate the same stuff every video. I used to watch Mojo a lot, and then I just stopped watching them because I understood after a while they have like, I don't know, let's say they have like 8 people in their room. I'm sure that's more than that. Let's say they have 8 people in their room. Those 8 people already have their set opinions on everything, and they just regurgitate it over and over again. They come up with a new list. One week it's like top 10 action shows. Those 8 people are all going to be like, I love The Sopranos. I love Dexter. I love Game of Thrones. They're all going to make the list, even if they don't belong there. Next week, it'll be like top 10 romance shows. Same guy's going to be like, I love Dexter. I love Game of Thrones. I love Breaking Bad. Same guys are going to make the same every single time. So I kind of just stopped watching them because their difference in the list was like 30% on any given video. The other 70% were the same staples they use over and over and over and over and over again. It's still fun to watch, but once you watch about 30 Watch Mojo videos and you get what they're about to say next, and you know before they say it, this is what they're going to say, it's a little boring. More entertained by the Flash. Superman Lois has better quality. I agree. Haven't met Adrian Paul. No. Well, Watch Mojo's top 10 lists are based off of facts. Okay. I hope you're actually making that as a joke. So Malik, I've never asked before, but now I'm finally going to ask. What is the YH you put at the start of almost everything you say? Is that supposed to be shorthand for yeah? Because if it is, you could just put yeah, like YA. It's still 2 letters, and at least there it makes sense. I don't know. Channels like Flash Mojo is just ridiculous. Flash Mojo is genius. Okay, I'm getting differing opinions. Well, what's worse, Watch Mojo or Screen Rant top 10? Man, they're kind of the same. Again, Screen Rant, kind of the same boat as Watch Mojo. They have, their core group of people that give their opinion in their room, and those opinions are already set before they start whatever the debate is. So you're going to get the same 7 or 8 opinions over and over again, and once in a while 2 or 3 new opinions will pop in and populate their list. It just always happens. I watched a bunch of their videos too, I think, and it's exactly like that. Yeah, H's, yeah. You prefer Screen Rant, but both are annoying. See, and I mean, when you first come across these type of channels, like I did when it's like Watch Mojo or something, the first little while you're like, oh, new list, cool, and then you're like, oh, new list, cool. Then you're like, a list almost exactly the same as they did 2 months ago on the same topic, but slightly different wording. Okay. And then after a while, I'm like, oh, it's the fifth time they've said this topic, but they worded it differently. You just notice it after a while. You know, it's like, I don't mean to harp on him, but it's a little obvious. It's like Ben, if you know the DC TV show, how he's, he'll get on one particular topic and he'll make 5 different videos on the same topic, but slightly word the title different. Watch Mojo does that with their top 10 list. Anything new coming to film in Vancouver? I don't know. I mean, there's always something new filming, but most of them I don't pay much attention to. Like there's some like pilot first. I don't know if it's a Marvel or DC related thing called the Dead Boy Detectives that's filming here right now. I know it's a not superhero. It's a comic book related thing, but there's always something new in Vancouver. Definitely interested to see how Armageddon ends next week. Yeah, I think most people were probably interested. Probably. I mean, if they weren't before this episode, they should be now. If they're not, I don't know. I don't know what to say for them. Did you all notice at the end looked stiff in the RF suit? I think you're talking about Kavanaugh. It's been brought up a couple times in here. I personally didn't notice it, but I also didn't even notice he was wearing the new suit until after the fact. So I just don't pick up on things. Other people have brought it up in the conversation though tonight. There's been a couple people have said that same thing, where they he looked a little stiff. Going to call it a night. Pretty tired. Great chat tonight. All right, have a good one, Lionel. When is the Flash supposed to come back? Do you mean supposed to come back for the primary season 8? March. Is it March 2nd? I think it's March 2nd. That date's just popping out in my head. I don't know that to be a fact, but I'm about 98% sure it's in March, and I'm about 70% sure it's the 2nd. Someone in the chat, I'm sure, will correct me if I'm wrong. Tom Kavanaugh. Yeah, everyone else is saying that. All right, so I'm caught up to the chat for a second. I'm going to just zip through real quick this list of Post-it notes I have here of things that I saw in the episode that were interesting. Hey, just got back home. Marth 9th. It's in Marth. Sorry, guys. Marth. I was so wrong. And it's on the 9th. I was wrong about both things. How you doing, Arrowverse? Where did you just get back from? Let me guess. You went to a sneak peek of Spider-Man No Way Home. All right. I have 7 or 8 pages of notes from tonight's episode. I'm going to read through them real quick. Then we can try and fill up the last 22 minutes of screen time talking about things maybe we haven't talked about yet. First thing that I wrote down was them talking about was when the girls were fighting against Barry and they were bringing up all the people that they had lost, which included Nate, Ray Palmer, Sarah, and Cisco. That was interesting. That was right away. When that happened, I realized immediately in that moment, we're playing with an alternate timeline. When they did the Ryan and Sophie being married thing, I was like, I can't believe they dropped that spoiler like that. And then when they got to the list of people that had been killed off, I'm like, oh, we're in an alternate timeline. Right away, I was like, okay, that's what we're playing with this episode. Then we had Eobard talk about the reverse flashpoint. Went to get some food and it took the mages. Fair enough. I mean, look, we're in a weird situation right now in the world where we still want first world things, but people don't want to take practically like grunt labor pay to do jobs anymore. So it's kind of hard to find people to work in places. I used to, if 30-year-old me would have thrown a tantrum week after week at a restaurant by now about how slow service is. 48-year-old me realizes that the people that are actually there working are working their asses off right now, trying to make up for the 20% of people that just don't feel like working anymore. So I kind of just I'm just kind of like, man, you guys showed up. At least you guys are taking a fucking job. All right, I will live with the fact you're a couple minutes later than usual. Now, if it's 40 minutes late, then I'm kind of like, hey, by the way, you kind of messed this up. But if it's like my usual delivery would be like 12 minutes and now it's 15, I'm just kind of like, all right, I get it. You're working harder than you used to. So yeah, I get that. Some places just they're struggling with staffing right now. We had that cool fight scene with Alex and Batwoman versus Barry that I mean, did Batwoman need Alex's help there? Did she need that? Why? Why did they have a 2-on-1 when Batwoman should have been able to take care of a depowered Barry on her own? We found out Eobard went back and killed Barry as a child. Oh, I think I laughed in the episode of that too. That is the most Eobard thing I can think of. Damien Dark was released on a technicality, and I can't remember how they explained it, but they explained why he's still alive now. I just don't remember what it is now. I think it was just a whole timeline shenanigans stuff. I also had wrote down at this point, and this is before they'd said something on screen, Dark noticing Barry is running on empty, and then I followed it up with Dark noticing Barry isn't Barry. Like, it was pretty obvious he was noticing that Barry was not himself, but he wasn't maybe fully aware yet. He was kind of just looking at him going, this guy's odd today, Damien Dark talked about that if you had the PED, which I forgot what that even stands for now, and the time stone, you could set all of the anachronisms back properly in one go. And I don't remember if they actually did that. I don't think Barry had the time stone when he went back, did he? I don't think he did. Alex noticed that Chester was distracted while Eobard was talking. That's because he was thinking about Allegra. And then we found out something. To be honest, half the notes I wrote down, I realized pointless because these are all now erased from history. But we had Caitlin and Killer Frost are one person again. Then we had Alex asks Allegra about Chester, and we had that whole conversation. I know that was everyone's favorite part. Then we saw Chester building the Atom 2.0 suit. I mean, we didn't actually see him building it, but we saw him in there working on a piece of it or something, and Ryan Choi in there kind of being like, oh, this is going to be so cool. Can't wait to go out there and kick bad guys' asses. And I should have noticed then that Ryan Choi wasn't the Ryan Choi we have. Like, that first sentence should have just been the telltale, but I didn't notice it right away. Then we got to see the Psycho Pirate mask on Cecile. I just wrote it down as COIE mask because I couldn't remember the name of it at the time. Then they referenced Two-Face. Then they referenced someone called Lady in Red. I don't know the character Lady in Red. If someone in here can tell me who it's supposed to be, great. I don't at the moment know. Different timeline conf. I forgot what the conf is short for. Is that confusion? It has to be. I don't know what that even means now. Oops. This is what happens when you're writing things down and really fast. Sometimes you forget a word or two and you just don't remember what it means now. Batwoman saves a kid living in a van. I thought that was cool because it ties back to how she was saved, and I like that. I like when they can bring up a character getting to pay off how they maybe came the same way. I like that. Hopefully they actually do that in the show. Then they talk about Batwoman and Sophie adopting, yippee-ki-yay. Then Alex asks Chester why he ghosted Allegra. Then Ryan Choi intervenes and goes, he didn't ghost her. It's called a French exit. Ryan Choi. That's the moment when you realize Ryan Choi is not the Ryan Choi we have. They also then mentioned that the Legion of Doom attacked the week that Chester and Allegra were going through all this stuff. Then we had Alex and Ryan Choi arguing about love, which, that was another point where you finally realize, like, this isn't the Ryan Choi we know. Then they talk about that Barry has to make Mach 20 to do what he needed to do. Then I wrote down Armageddon is by Barry, meaning that we finally, when they talk about that he'd have to run around the Earth, and Barry starts talking about the things that would happen if he does it. There's your Armageddon. Then Dark tells Barry he is the paragon of love. And say what you will about pep talks, I thought it was a good pep talk. Dark sacrifices for love. Alex Allegra chat. Yay. Alex and Kelly not always perfect. I thought that was really interesting. I don't know if they're talking about before they got together or since they got married, but in any case, it's a fake timeline, so it doesn't matter now. Something about Ryan Choi fears something love. I can't read it because it was very small on the bottom, so we'll just move on. Chester's my boy. I know what my boy needs. Still my favorite line from the episode. Barry's doing something impossible. There's a shocker. Eobard tells Iris to shoot Barry, and that is the moment where you knew things were going to change. I thought one of two things happens there. I either thought Iris shoots Eobard, which happened. The other thing I thought was that Iris might shoot at Barry, but because Barry is phasing out of existence, that it would just go through him. I thought that would have been cool if that had happened. I wrote down Damien Dark is the hero, which I have already stated. Ryan Choi hints at Chester and Allegra, talking about like when they found out the world's about to end. He basically said to the two of them, like, hey, if you got something to say to each other, it's kind of the time to get to that. Then we had the other epic moment when the fight in the street, Killer Frost and Chillblaine versus Damien Dark, and Damien Dark refers to Killer Frost as Frost and Chillblaine as Chillane. How did they come up with that? I laughed. Then we had a Constantine reference. Then Allegra tells Chuck he loves her. He tells her the same back. They have a little smoochy session. Then I wrote down I hate science. I can't remember who said it. Was it Eobard? No. Was it Barry? I can't remember who said that now. Was it Damien? I think it was Damien that said that. Despero back in 2021 had killed the whole team except for Cecile. Then didn't get to kill Cecile because Barry came back. Barry was back in his red suit. No gold boots yet, but back in the red suit. Then Barry walks into the room in Star Labs, which is perfectly fine again, by the way. And he sees the whole team sitting there, chilling, having some big belly burger. He just walks in, and they're like, oh, hey, Barry boy, what's up? Haven't seen you in a while. And he's like, you don't remember them? They're like, remember what? He's like, oh, some shit happened. And they're like, oh, some shit happened. Of course we don't remember. So that happened. Then Iris phones Joe, and Barry right away is like, Joe West? Are we talking about Joe West? Is Joe West on the phone? I gotta speak to Joe West. Give me the phone. And then he talked to Joe West, but we didn't hear Joe West. We just saw Barry's reaction to talking to Joe. And then we had the end with Reverse Flash in the Gideon room, which I keep forgetting what the name of that goddamn room is. And he basically says to Gideon, like, you're going to help me do something. I forgot what it was. Oh, by the way, he was also in the Reverse Flash suit, and I completely missed that while watching the episode. Okay, let's see what you've said in the few minutes I read all that off. That was a lot to read off. I got to the food part. Reverse Flash killed young Barry. That is correct. Sentinel is pretty badass, I suppose. I almost forgot there's a new episode of Hawkeye tomorrow. I actually forgot for a little while too, Skinny Boy, till someone brought it up in this conversation earlier. Who's the lady in red? Don't know. That's the same question I have. When they said Lady in Red, my first thought was Eliza from season 2 Trajectory. Nah, no. I don't even think that's near close to the ballpark. Also, the reverse Flashpoint Ryan Choi isn't married with a kid. Yeah, that too. But it definitely wasn't her. Yeah, okay, I agree with you on that. I wonder if Eric Wallace watches Batwoman. I don't know, man. You know what? I bet you he probably doesn't. And the reason I say he probably doesn't is there's an article that came out with Kyler Lee talking. And in the article, she explicitly says she had a talk with Eric Wallace. And Eric Wallace had said, I want to do this and this with your character. And Kyler Lee had to stop him in that and be like, by the way, is my character going this way now? And he's like, oh, okay, then we'll write for that change in your character's story arc. Because he hadn't watched Supergirl or hadn't watched up to that point in Supergirl or something like that. So, I don't know. That was clearly not Ryan Choi. His dialogue alone and movements tell you. Yeah. I think we all are on that page now that we know it was an alternate timeline. Oh, wait, the Flash returns in March. Good to know. Yeah, March is going to be an exciting month. The Flash will be back in March. Dark said it. The science thing. Yeah. I'm gonna put you guys on hold for a second again. I gotta have a good cough. Yeah, I'm getting close to losing my voice. Whew. All right, where was I? It would have been cool if we could have seen Eddie this episode, since Eddie presumably wouldn't have killed himself in season 1. He probably died at another point, but it would have been cool since he is already returning. They would have had to have explained. Then you have to start explaining all sorts of extra things that makes the episode 7 hours long. No. I mean, would it be cool for nostalgia? Sure, but it wouldn't make sense in the story unless you start explaining a lot of other things. Is Nickelback nice? Most of them. Chad is really nice. A couple of the others are nice. There's one guy in the band that's not, and I can't remember which one it is. Time Vault. Yes, thank you. Time Vault. I have been forgetting the name of that all night. Thank you. Hawkeye, LOL. That Hawkeye was really good, episode 3. Lady in Red is actually a song. Yes, it is by Chris de Burgh, but I don't know who the character is. Nobody's talking about the true MVP of the episode. No, it's not Hot in Here. No, it's not Apartment 4. It's Damien, surprisingly. I've multiple times here tonight mentioned that Damien Dark was the hero. Multiple times I brought it up tonight. I guess you just missed those minutes. Marth or March? Well, Marth, of course. I mean, Arrowverse scenes told you it was in Marth. Sheesh. March. Psh, nothing good happens in March. Eric Wallace probably thought Ryan and Sophie were already dating. Probably. Wait, so was that random guy at the West party was random person after all? Technically, no. So in the synopsis for this episode, someone else had to tell me this. I didn't find it out on my own right away. They credited him as actor's name, and his role is Marcus. Now you're thinking, what the hell is a Marcus? If you remember back to episode 2 of the crossover, when Alex is talking to Caitlin via Skype or whatever they were using, she mentions a guy that she said, and she's like, that guy Marcus I told you about could do this thing. And Caitlin at the time said to her, she goes, I'll remember to thank him later. That thank him later is probably meaning she's going to go on a date with him, and 10 years later he's going to still be around, because we know that Caitlin also in those episodes said she's going to consider dating. So there's your Marcus connection. Now that said, all this timeline is probably erased, so maybe Marcus never existed. Could be random guy in the end. I find it funny that he's been in 2 episodes. I don't think he's said a word, and he's been on screen for like 12 seconds. Skinny boy. Okay. So episode 5, will it set up season 8 of The Flash? Any ideas? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they will finish episode 5 with a conclusion and maybe a soft intro to the season 8, but we won't get something like a villain or a premise for what it is. I don't know. Wait, how did Batwoman and Alex change so quickly? Oh, I asked that same question, by the way. And how did they change in front of people, the waiters? I asked that same question, by the way. I was like, huh? They just like magically can put their suits on? Oh, by the way, as you guys were talking earlier, how there's no upgrades to their suits in 10 years. Voila! Apparently they can just morph onto their body. There's your upgrade in the last 10 years. So those of you that were kind of like, oh, how did they not improve their suit in 10 years? Apparently they've turned it into like the flash head technology thing. So it was improved. I had so many issues with the time travel stuff this week. Hey, Eric, how you doing? I am considering uploading my review as soon as it's done. Okay, I am sure, because every time I see one of your reviews, you pick out things I would have never thought of. So I'm sure it'll be very interesting. That said, I hope you don't ruin what was a fun episode for me. But I can't wait. I can't wait to see how you tear it apart, because I know you're going to find things in there that I will have looked at and been like, I never thought of that, but that makes sense because you do it all the time. I think Brother Grimm, I think his name is the season villain. He is scary and supernatural type. I haven't heard anything about who the villain is. God damn it. Dude in the room next to me is smoking right now. I can smell it too. Not helping my already sore throat. God damn it. I don't know about Lady in Red, but there's a woman in Red DC comic character who's first masked heroine that gained superpowers through a red crystal. Okay. Probably nanotechnology, CG, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, none of us know because they didn't explain it because they don't need to because it's all unwritten now. All right, guys, I'm putting in the chat that message we all know is coming since I warned you 8 minutes ago. Any comments beyond this point that are not super chats will probably not get answered. So this should be your last. No. So this is probably too late to ask a question if this is in the chat. And send question mark? Okay. All right. God, my voice is really going now. They'll probably semi-set up what's happening in the interlude episodes. Oh, good point. Yeah, we have interludes coming up. Yeah. So that's probably what will happen. They'll set up season 8 during their 11 interlude episodes to explain what will happen in the 2-episode story arc. So hopefully it happens there. Do you think that next season will end a big cliffhanger? I have no idea about next season. I don't even know what's going on this season. I liked it. I just didn't like the time travel plot holes. Fair enough. I mean, there's so many. I am sure there is a trillion flaws to point out about that stuff. Lady in Red be the actual season villain arc? Nah. If they also mentioned Two-Face, and we know we're not getting Two-Face anytime soon, probably. It's just a name to throw out for name drop reasons. I believe the Gideon room is called the Time Vault. We got there, Skinny Boy. Thank you. Will the Flash be delayed later than Marth? Will the Flash be delayed later than Marth? All right. Well, I'm caught up to the chat. And it's 10:01. Perfect time to end. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming by this week. Man, my voice is barely holding on, so I'm going to keep this short. I will talk to you in the future. Probably do this again next week. Tentatively, I think I'm on Eric's live stream on Friday. As of right now, I think that's probably going to work for my schedule. So I may see you there if my voice is there. If not, I might do everything by sign language. But until then, have a good one, everyone. Thanks for coming by. Good night.